Hi, I'm Anthony and I'm 31 years old. I'm an account manager in one of the biggest consulting firms in the city. I started as a junior associate and worked my way up over the years. I've been working with this firm for over 8 years now. I like my job. It pays well. The people I work with are good. Well, most of them. I've got a good boss, and most of all, I've found the love of my life, Barbara, because of this work. I tied the knot with her 2 years ago. She is the daughter of my boss, Donald. Barbara had an accident when she was a teenager that left her in a wheelchair, but it doesn't really matter to me. She is the most beautiful human being I've ever come across. She's kind, funny, beautiful, and brilliant. Even though life hasn't been very kind to her, she never gave up. She is a marketing manager of one of the biggest marketing firms in our country. Even with her father being the director of a consulting firm, she paved her own path, starting from scratch. We've been happily married for 2 years now, and I am the happiest I've ever been. She makes everything so much better. Everything just makes so much more sense when I'm with her. But I am not going to lie. There were times when the chips were down, and Lord knows we had to fight for what we wanted. But let me start from the very beginning. 8 years ago, I met Donald. He was the team lead, and I had just joined his team as a junior associate. Now, when I first met Donald, he seemed confident and charismatic, and he was pretty good at his job. Rumor had it that back when he was just a consultant, he used to be the best in the firm, and now that he is a team lead, his team is among the best performing teams in the entire firm. I was glad that I was put on his team. I met Donald the first day I joined, and he seemed quite lively. He had the flair of a motivational speaker and the analytical ability of a great consultant, and he was a great team leader. Everybody in our team loved him, and it became very evident to me why it was like that when I talked to him for the first time. Hey Donald, I'm Anthony. I've joined as a junior consultant, and I've been told that I'm on your team. Oh, hey, you're quite a good-looking young man. I like your suit. Thank you. You know, complimenting someone is a good ice-breaking move. Remember it. You'll use it when you become a consultant. A consultant? You don't want to be a junior associate for the rest of your life, do you? I don't. Good. So, Anthony, this is your first day. Yes, it is. What do you think happens here? What do you think you would do here? Well, I am a junior associate, so I guess I'll be helping the consultants with gathering information and resources. I'll be handling paperwork and administration work. That's the short-term game. Have you thought about how you want to play it in the long term? Well, I guess I'll learn from everyone and everything I can, and become a great consultant like you someday. Soon. What? Never say someday. Say soon instead. It makes things sound more doable. Understood. Me and the entire team will help you with anything you need. But you need to be honest with your work. We are a team. The best one here, Anthony. Understood. I'll try my best. That's more like it. Now chill out. This is your first day. If you want, you can loosen up your tie a little. It looks like it's suffocating you. It is, actually. Go chill out. Get yourself a coffee, take a tour of the office, and meet other people. We'll start work tomorrow. Roger that. It was pretty evident to me why everybody loved Donald so much. He was so full of energy. Everybody talked highly about him, and I could see the reason behind it. I started working with him, and I loved every moment of it. He taught me how to do everything, mentored me, and taught me how to convert prospects into clients. He even used to take me to meet the clients when I was just an associate. He told me that if I wanted to learn how our world works, I'd have to experience it firsthand. Seeing Donald talk to clients, convince them, and get them into a deal was like watching a fascinating movie. He was a magician at his work. No matter how far-fetched the goal seemed, he used to give it his best to get the best out of it. He was a master at his work. I learned everything from him. As time went by, we worked hard and did good work on the field. Our entire team brought in the most revenue for the firm. We were even awarded the top-performing team in a row for 3 years. Donald became the director of the consulting department, and I became a consultant in a few years. Then I had another promotion in the following 2 years, and eventually became the account manager. Everything Donald taught me was working out quite well. I'd been rocking it in my job. When I became a consultant, I used to spend more time with Donald. We used to visit clients and make strategies together. Donald told me about his daughter, Barbara, but I had never met her. He also told me about the accident and everything. One day, Donald and I went to meet a client in a restaurant. The restaurant was close to Barbara's workplace, so Donald called her after the meeting so he could meet her. After the meeting was done, Donald called Barbara. Barbara came with one of her office friends. Donald introduced me to Barbara and we ordered food. Barbara's friend went back to the workplace after just having a cup of coffee. She had come to drop Barbara off at the restaurant. It was just the three of us now. And suddenly Donald got a call from the CEO, telling him that he needed to come to the office right now. There was this other consulting firm who were trying to poach some of our clients. I insisted that I go to the office, and he stays here with Barbara, but Donald told me that I couldn't handle it. And honestly, I don't really know what I would have done if Donald had agreed. Donald told me to drop off Barbara once she was done eating, and meet him in the office. This was the first time I was meeting Barbara, and now I was all alone in a restaurant with my boss's daughter. There was an awkward silence between us for the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then Barbara started speaking. "You've been staring at my wheelchair ever since I got here. You can ask me about it. I won't bite." "Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm just pulling your leg. What was your name again? Antonio? I'm sorry, I'm just really bad with names." "It's Anthony." "Why do you look so nervous, Anthony?" I'm not. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine." "Can I tell you a secret?" "Yeah." "I'm a human being just like you." "What? I don't understand." "You seem like you're sitting with some kind of ghost or something. I know I'm your boss's daughter, but you don't have to be so nervous. It's not like I'm going to chase you down with an axe. I'm pretty sure you'll outrun me. Get it? Me outrunning you?" "Ha! You've got a good sense of humor. So you're laughing because I'm in a wheelchair? Because I can't run?" No, absolutely not." "Chill out, Anthony. I'm just messing with you. You know what? I like you. You seem like the kind of guy who would go pat a random dog in the street and ask the dog about its day." "I actually kind of do that. Is that weird?" "Yes, it's weird, but the good kind." "What about you? What do you do when you're not pulling other people's legs?" "Try to get mine to work." "I'm just kidding. You can laugh. You're so different from Donald. He's so into work he forgets to take a break for himself. But you're very different." "I guess life has taught me not to take things too seriously." "We need more people like you in the world." "We don't have enough wheelchairs." "You're just hilarious." "I know." We just talked straight up for an hour after we had our meal. Barbara and I completely forgot about the time. Then her father called to check up on her, and we came back to the real world. I dropped her off at her workplace and I rushed back to mine. We exchanged Instagram handles, and we used to sometimes talk to each other. As time went by, I became like a family member to Donald. He used to call me to his home for dinner. I used to meet Barbara there. Barbara and I eventually became good friends, and we used to talk to each other all the time when we were together. Seeing the both of us together, Donald thought that something was cooking between us. One weekend, Donald invited me to his home to have some drinks. He told me that Barbara and her mom were not home. They went to a relative's place for dinner and would come back late. I went to Donald's place. He made drinks for both of us, and then he told me something that shocked me from head to toe. He told me about Andrew and Barbara. Andrew was the son of our CEO. Barbara and Andrew used to date. What came to me as a shock was how could a girl like Barbara date someone like Andrew? Andrew was a mean guy. He was rude and arrogant. He was on the board of directors of our firm. He sometimes used to come to our office and yell at people for no reason. It was almost like he came to vent out his anger. Nobody liked him. But we couldn't do anything. After all, he was the son of our CEO. Donald told me how they both ended their relationship on a pretty rough note. Things got really ugly. He told me everything, and then he said something that made me extremely furious. "How's the drink?" "Good. It's pretty smooth." "Good. I see you and Barbara are pretty good friends now, and she often talks to me about you." "Yeah, we're good friends now." "Is there something going on between you two?" "Oh, no, Donald. Nothing is going on between us, I assure you. We're just good friends, that's it." "Hey, don't be scared. I'd be happy if she was dating someone like you. Especially after. Especially after what? After what happened between Barbara and Andrew. Andrew who? Our CEO's son. What? What happened between them? Well, I'll keep it short. Barbara and Andrew used to date, and Barbara fell in love with him. After some time, one of Barbara's friends told her that Andrew was cheating on her. And turns out it was true. They had a massive fight, and Andrew said some really mean things to her. It got really ugly. What? How could Barbara be with someone like Andrew? I didn't know about all of this. Barbara told me about everything when it was all over. She was heartbroken. But when I see you with her, she's always laughing. She looks really happy. We like spending time with each other. I wanted to talk to you about something. That's the reason I called you here today. What is it? I would give you a big promotion if you start dating my daughter. What? You've got to be kidding me. No, I am serious. How could you? I just want to see my daughter happy. And that's your solution to make her happy? Listen, she is the most fun human being I've ever met. She is kind, she's beautiful, she's funny, she's smart. She's everything a guy wishes for. Please don't do anything like this ever again. This is a disrespect to Barbara. I know, but if you say something like this, I think you don't know your daughter well enough. Andrew is a fool for cheating on her, and honestly, I'm happy that it ended between them. I would never want to see Barbara with someone like him. Listen, Anthony, I know it sounds wrong, but it doesn't just sound wrong. Donald, it is wrong. You know what? I'm leaving. I'm so angry I might end up saying harsh things to you. I'll meet you on Monday. I left angrily. I couldn't fathom how a father could say something like this. I was thinking about it all the way home while I was driving. I came home and sat on my couch. It took me some time to extinguish my anger. After I calmed myself down, I really thought about everything that had just happened. To see a man like Donald say something like this was saddening. I always saw Donald as someone who never gave up, who won every battle that he entered. And yet here he was offering me a promotion to date his daughter out of sheer desperation. The breakup must have been really ugly. It must have completely shattered Barbara's heart and soul. I could see a father's desperation to see his daughter happy. I couldn't sleep the whole night thinking about everything. I met Donald on Monday and I apologized for snapping on him. I told him that I understood that he's a father who just wants to see his daughter happy. Donald also apologized to me for what had happened. He also thanked me for opening his eyes. He was so blinded by fatherly love that he couldn't think straight. The things that I said really got to him. We almost hugged, but then we realized we were in the office. We shook hands and went back to our work. One evening, I got a text from Barbara telling me she wanted to meet. She texted me, telling me that one of her friends who was also her neighbor told her that she heard me the other day when I was yelling at Donald. She wanted to talk to me about it. My hands froze. A chilling sensation ran throughout my body. I knew she'd be angry with me for shouting at her father. She loved her father. I mustered up some courage, and I texted her back saying that we could meet at a restaurant. She said okay. She sent me a pin to one of the restaurants that she liked, and told me to meet her in a half hour. I got dressed, got in my car, and went to meet her. I entered the restaurant and she was already sitting there. She didn't look very happy. I knew I'd be in big trouble now. I sat down on the chair. The moment I sat down, she fired away a list of questions. Who do you think you are? Listen, it was nothing. Do you think you can come to my home and shout at my father? Just who do you think you are? I'm sorry, Barbara. We just had a little misunderstanding, that's all. We're all good now. I don't care. You cannot come to my home and yell at my father. My neighbor told me that you were constantly yelling at my father. You didn't even let him speak. You were just going on and on and on. I'm sorry, Barbara. We had a little disagreement on something. I got a little angry and snapped at him. Anthony, just what do you think of yourself? Do you think you're our boss? Do you think you can come to our house and yell at us anytime? I'm really sorry about it, Barbara. I know you're upset and I understand. Got ya! What? I got you real good this time, didn't I? What? I don't understand. My neighbor heard you guys talking. She told me everything about how my father offered you a promotion to date me, and how you snapped at him for it. You know about it? Yeah, I do. Hey, listen. Don't think ill of Donald. He just wanted to see you happy. He wasn't thinking straight. I know, Anthony. Just relax. I know he was just desperate to see me happy, and I can't blame him. I was really shattered when Andrew and I broke up. What really happened between you two? Andrew was a red flag. I could see it from miles away, but I still fell in love with him. I found out that he was cheating on me, and he was only with me because he had lost a bet. And then he had to date me. We had a massive fight, and he told me everything about it. He also said that he would never be with a girl who could not carry herself to her bed, who would constantly need someone around to help her with everything. He told me that I was good for nothing. I was just some weak, desperate girl who would never find love. Jeez, Andrew's such a prick. He is such a bad person. His words shattered my soul. It went deep inside my heart and made a wound. I didn't eat food properly or talk to anyone for a month. I didn't go to work. I just stayed inside my room all day. I guess that's why Dad was so desperate to see me happy. I understand, Barbara, but you're the strongest girl I've ever met. You went through so much, and yet you're always smiling whenever I see you. You make me laugh and make me forget about everything bad that's going on in my life. You've got this really strange superpower of making me happy every time I'm with you. You know, my neighbor also told me about how you told my dad that I am beautiful, fun, and amazing. Your neighbor heard all of that? Yeah, she did. And I've got something to tell you. Go ahead. I really like you, Anthony. I really, really like you. I like you too, Barb. Well, since we're already here at this beautiful restaurant, and it is a beautiful evening, be my date. Well, alright, it's a date then. I had the most perfect date ever with Barbara that night. The music was perfect, the food was good, the night was beautiful, and Barbara was amazing as always. After that night, we started dating, but we didn't tell anyone. We wanted to keep it to ourselves. We dated for 11 months, and then I proposed to her in a movie theater. I booked all of the seats, and I made a compilation of videos that we made together during our dates, and I played it on the screen. I pulled out a ring, got on my knees, and I asked her to marry me. She said yes. We told Donald about the engagement, and his reaction was amazing. He cried and hugged the both of us. We celebrated, and it was splendid. As we were celebrating, I took Donald aside to talk to him about something. Can I talk to you for a second? Sure. Can I say something first? Of course, go ahead. I never thought I would see you and Barbara together, but you have surprised me. I'm so happy for you both. Thank you, Donald. It means a lot to me. We're a family now, but I wanted to ask you something. Go ahead, son. Do you remember how you offered me a big promotion for dating your daughter? Yes. Well, I want something else. What? I don't understand. I'll marry your daughter, but there's one condition. What is it? I want your help getting back at that prick, Andrew, for everything he has done to Barbara. What are you talking about? See, Donald, I don't know if you know this, but things got ugly when Barbara and him broke up. He said some really mean things to Barbara, and he cannot go unpunished. It'll be better for you not to know more about it, but I'll need your help getting back at him. Are you sure about this? Nobody messes with my fiancé and goes unpunished. We'll get to him, but in the right way. All right, I'm all ears. What do you want to do? I told Donald the entire plan, and he agreed to help me. The next week, we initiated a complaint against Andrew on behalf of the entire staff to the board of directors and the CEO. Andrew was shocked. He always thought that he was invincible and nobody could do anything to him in the firm. But now he could see that things were going to go down for him really bad. With the help of Donald, I got everyone to sign a complaint against Andrew for his foul behavior and requested to set up an inquiry for it. We had most of the board of directors in our favor, and we won by majority. As we were proceeding to a legal inquiry against Andrew, a lot of other employees came forward to tell us about how he had been inappropriate with them and harassed them in the workplace. The addition of more whistleblowers made the case stronger and more intense. An inquiry was executed, and Andrew was found guilty. The court sentenced him to spend years behind bars. All of his arrogance and pride were shattered in an instant. He would now have to spend his time in jail thinking about how things could have been if he had been sensible about the way he treated people. I told Barbara about everything and she broke down. She told me that Andrew had brought her to her lowest and destroyed her self-confidence. But now that I've made sure he gets punished, she was feeling much better. Andrew's father, the CEO, took early retirement from the company after his son was found guilty. I married Barbara 6 months after we got engaged, and now we've been married for 2 years. It has been a great 2 years. Meeting Barbara was the best thing that ever happened to me. I love her so much. It's funny to think about how wrong Andrew was. Barbara is not the one who will need someone for the rest of her life. It's the other way around. I am someone who will need her for the rest of my life. But I guess now, Andrew has all the time in the world to think about it. He can just count the bars in his cell while he regrets everything he's done wrong.